Uppercut, uppercut, sonic boom! Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Bushka, and today we're going to be doing the PUBG Mobile News Roundup. We're going to do this once a week. I'm probably going to have Gangsy on a lot for this because he's very knowledgeable and he's got an insider's look into the PUBG Mobile Pro esports scene. So I'm going to bring him on board here. You're going to get a chance to have a chat to him. He's having a baby tomorrow, so good on you, Gangso. Love your work and good luck with everything, and congratulations on Junior. We're going to kick this off. We're going to talk about the PUBG Mobile being banned in India. We're going to talk about the Sexless saga, teaming and colluding, all kinds of different things that you probably want to know about if you're at all interested in PUBG Mobile, the game. So let's take it away. Gangsy, how are you?
Yeah, good, Bushka. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
If I was any fitter, I'd be a danger to shipping, you big dog. Gangsy's down from Mexico way down south in Melbourne, and he's got a long history in the game itself. Why don't you walk us through a little bit about you and your credentials, Gangso?
Well, I've been playing PUBG Mobile since Season 1. I've been involved in the esports scene primarily through PMCO. I've played PMCO since the first PMCO they had in the spring split of 2019 now. Seems so long ago. And yeah, just preparing. It's a while now. Yeah, we've had a few now, and now we've progressed with the PMPL and the PMWL, and yeah, we're just preparing our team for the next PMCO fall split, which will be kicking off in the next couple of weeks.
You're a content creator yourself, aren't you? And you do a lot of stuff within the community. So you've got a real base and a real sense of what's going on, the ground swells, the movements, the metas that are happening in PUBG Mobile itself.
Yes. I play scrims every day. I organise high-level tournaments every week, and try and get in a few TDMs here and there in between.
Now let's talk about the big news right now in the world of PUBG Mobile. PUBG Mobile to be banned in India. Yes, no. It's a massive news item, and obviously important because India is very much the sacred heartland of PUBG Mobile. It's the biggest base of users outside of China, and they have their own version of the Game for Peace anyway. Talk me through your take on that and where you've come across it.
Yeah. So I first heard it. I mean, PUBG Mobile has been banned in parts of India in the past. Now, the most recent kind of stirrings of this was about a month ago when TikTok got banned, and there was a whole list of apps from developers that were on the list for security flaws. You know, the Indian government were worrying that people's private information was going to get leaked. So they banned TikTok, and they put a whole other bunch of apps on a list to be investigated, and PUBG Mobile was one of them, and it managed to survive the initial cull, but it's up again for investigation. So everybody's sort of nervously waiting to hear the results of that investigation to see whether or not it will be banned or not.
Now, it's on a list, but it does strike me as odd that the PUBG Mobile is having the microscope and the blowtorch applied to it by the Indian government. It feels a little bit like a political football in that there's so many other apps and things that have done the same stuff. I mean, hello, Mr. Zuckerberg, how's Facebook going? It's not like there's not a whole history of apps taking user data and sending it elsewhere. And it does feel like PUBG Mobile doesn't really work that way anyway. It's not about, taking data and selling it as a means of making its bottom line.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. One, because like a lot of other apps from a lot of other countries have done the same thing. I mean, and people share a lot of information quite freely on.
Shh, Gangsy, they might be listening, mate. They might be listening.
Hello, NSA. Hope you're doing well. So it's they're a little late to the party, I guess. But yeah, it's I don't think PUBG Mobile will get banned. Like, TikTok was quite clearly copying data off people's devices and uploading it to the cloud. Like, researchers found that. And, that's kind of like TikTok's a social media platform. That's kind of how they make their dough. Like Facebook, Google, all of these companies with these platforms, they collect your data and they sell it to advertisers. That's why they're free to use. And I don't see how PUBG Mobile needs to do that. They're very good at making money. They sell skins, they sell royal passes, and they have a very good income stream. So I don't see why they would need to, on top of that, collect people's data and sell it.
It really is a new frontier as far as the world's concerned. Like, we've just had this whole legislation in the States that's changed the way we present content on YouTube. And now we've got this Indian saga happening. Like, it's pretty crazy.
Well, the COPA Act, COPPA, yeah.
Yeah, that means that when I upload something, I have to mark whether it's going to be suitable or children for not, and it massively affects my income as a content creator and the advertising. But obviously that's there as a protection for the kids. What about protection for YouTubers like me? This is actually really important to me because 25% of my channel base is coming from the subcontinent. Like, India is a massive part of, quite apart from being great at cricket, we need them in PUBG Mobile.
It's a very large portion of the PUBG Mobile population. I'd say it's the largest population outside of China because they have their own version of the game.
And their esports players are superstars. They're like massive heroes for the youth in India. They really see that as an important part of their...
They're proper athletes.
Exactly.
Like that's how they're viewed in their country. So it's got a very mature esports,
which is quite
ecosystem compared to Western countries as well.
Talking about mature esports ecosystems, let's talk about the mature esports ecosystem that is my amigo Sexless. There was a huge goings on when he got banned from PUBG Mobile competitive play earlier, and he was very, very upset. This is from his actual Twitter feed. So many tears. Watch this. This is brilliant.
As you can see, I've been crying so much since my ban. So many tears. So many tears.
Now, Sexless was banned, wasn't he? So what he was banned for is basically he was using someone else's account to play in an esports event, and in the qualifiers, I think, for... Well, anyway, you can talk us through. What was the comeuppance? What was the guilty sentence for this bloke?
Banned for 4 months, I believe, until the end of the year, so he won't be allowed to play in PMCO until 2021. And the reason he was banned is he's currently playing for a team called Pittsburgh Knights in the PUBG Mobile World League West League, which is like North America, South America, and Europe. So he's playing for a team there. He's not on contract with that team, but he's just kind of been lent to them because the team he was playing for before didn't qualify. Whilst playing in the PMWL, he has played on another person's account for a team that was playing in the qualifiers for the fall split. Now, I believe the team was called the Rejects, TR, and...
Let's talk about how insane it was. He was found out because basically he was streaming this as it happened. He was streaming it, which is fine. It's like he wears his heart on his sleeve. Like, it's his business and he's handling it the way he wants to handle it, but it was pretty funny.
A lot of people obviously complain because, people, it's to them, it's almost a competitive edge. Sexless is one of the best players in the world. So, this is, they've gotten him kicked off Pittsburgh Knights. That's going to hurt their chances in the league.
And this is a big issue in esports, isn't it?
Having a ringer.
Yeah, like getting someone who's a very, very good player playing on a team that's not expected to do well.
Like very common in esports, especially online tournaments. One of the things, so not a lot of people would realize this, but when you play PMCO, once you get into the group stages onwards, you do have to install a specific application on your phone. And you use that application to open the PUBG mobile app. So that blocks you from cheating and using the graphics tool. And 2, you have to take a selfie of yourself and upload it. So you have to take a selfie before the match starts and then after the match is finished.
You'd probably get extra points, mate, for having such a good-looking selfie straight away.
Oh, yeah. So all pro, you would be using this application through PMCO, PMPL, and PMWL. You wouldn't be using this application during the online qualifiers. So
let's move along to another topic here. We're going to skip ahead in the recording because this is very important. We want to talk about this. This is some of the accusations of cheating against a couple of the Thai teams in the World Championships, and this is pretty massive. I'm going to actually pull up some footage here and we're going to have a little talk through it, Ganksy and I. 2 instances where a lot of people went ham and called foul. Let's have a look at them.
Yeah, this one, I can see how an IGL made the decision to disengage after getting a couple of knocks. the key thing to notice here is that the zone was changing. So if the zone didn't change, there's no reason they needed to disengage. They should have attacked the whole team. But they got about 3 knocks on a team, and then they left. They just drove off. And it was Circle 2. Circle 2 doesn't do a whole lot of damage, so they could have stayed around and confirmed those kills. But it does look like they opted to get a better position into zone. Now, both of these teams come from the same country, so people were saying, oh, they know each other. They decided to, give the other team an advantage. And while that may be possible, it is explainable that they didn't realize there was another player nearby. They didn't think the other player would go and revive their teammates, and they just drove off.
Have a talk now about the second instance on Sanhok, which was much more difficult to explain away and really turn some heads and cause some scratching.
Yeah, this clip is a lot stranger. This clip is where one team is sitting in a compound. They've got a bunch of hard cover. They spot another team running in open through that valley between the 2 mountains on the east island of Sanhok. And clearly they could have knocked 2 or 3 players, been able to confirm the kills. The other team didn't have any hard cover at all to work with. They've spotted them, looked at them for a fair while, and just shot a single shot, which is interesting because the only explanation I can think of to not engage a team when you've got that kind of sight on them is you don't want to give away your position to other teams. And they gave away their position to other teams because they shot and they fired a few shots. They certainly weren't aiming. And these guys don't.
Let's play it back and actually
He's got the
put the audio on it so
Oh,
people can hear what you mean.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear the shots.
To let Mystic squeak
It's very
by
odd.
right here, and Team Queso, they're making this really insane rotation. Matic, they spot him. Oh,
Yeah, Mystic.
Madden.
Mystic.
Waiting on it.
You're dead. You're
Oh,
dead.
wait, it's a single fire.
And
It
then
had to
right
be
at the
single fire.
end, he
What?
taps
It
some
had to
sort of a
be.
melody, like
That
a
had-
call and
oh,
return. You hear people do.
It's really strange. That is very, very difficult to explain that one away. But it was investigated, and
Yeah. Both of these
Yeah.
incidents have been investigated, and they couldn't prove anything because there wasn't enough evidence. And that's the thing people should remember. Like, you can't just look at a clip like this and say, well, it's dodgy, so they're cheating. You need a little bit more evidence than that. And I think what the referees will be doing is keeping a close eye on both of these teams, particularly in the second instance. I'd be watching them very closely to see, in future. I'd also maybe even look at some past footage as well and see if there are any other circumstances that were a little bit odd.
the thing, and then this is playing devil's advocate. No, this has been cleared, but the gun sound sounded to me like a call and response kind of thing where you'd hear at boot camp where someone goes rat tat 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 tat. So people actually realize who's shooting at them. Like they just this tap 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 tap. They don't even take any kind of evasive action. They get shot at and they just keep running. It's really, really, really weird. But I mean, you know more about this than I would.
And I'll say, as someone who's played in not at this level, but at a PMCO level, as an IGL, one of the hardest things you can do is try and get your team not to shoot at a team. Like there's a situation where you might not want to give away your position. The zone's just changed, and you need to make a rotation to the other side of the circle, and you go, yeah, don't shoot. It's very hard because these guys are fraggers. That's their whole modus operandi. Like they see a target and they aim at the target, and the target sits down.
Yeah, they are some of the best players in the world.
Must have been a call. I don't know what that IGL said to them. I would have loved to have heard their voice comms because it's not. I wish my team would do that occasionally, but yeah, it's very difficult to get your team to not shoot at players in open because they, not only do they want their team to win, they also want themselves to be on the top of the top fragger boards as well. These guys. Really.
That's a great point because we all know that if you are at the top of the top fraggers board, that can mean a career as a content creator for you. I mean, we all know that the best players in the world are the best players in the world, but the guys that get the most kills are the ones that stand out and the ones that get noticed, the ones that get esports contracts, the ones who get YouTube followings. It's just self-evident.
Look at Sexless.
Yeah,
Sexless,
great point.
nobody remembers SSG's performance too well in the first global championships. Everybody remembers Sexless. He was there in every sort of Circle 5, Circle 6, for VSS or UMP, just wiping squads. Like he was, I think he was the top 5 fragger. Like he was right at the top of the frag.
It really did make him.
I mean, it's something a lot of people aspire to.
Well, thank you so much for coming along, Gangsy. I know you got the bubs on the way. Great to talk. Can't wait to do it again. It's really important that we keep this kind of stuff up. No, mate, I really do appreciate you being here. For those of you wondering, Gangsy's background is telecommunications, both in the technical side of things and in a governing sense as well. He works with that day in, day out, as well as obviously being the IGL for an esports org. You've probably seen No Mercy roll about when he was running them through their straps and whatever. Thank you so much for turning up, boys and girls. Look after yourself. Please like, please subscribe. If you like this content, do more. And until next time, stay safe on the battlefield. Bye now.
Yeah.